Well, all you beautiful bulletproof handymen and women, it's time for my final parting words. If you've made it this far, then congratulations. You're a business owner. I wish you all the luck in the world. And the purpose of this episode is just going to be to give you my final pieces of advice. They're in no particular order. It's just a whole lot of stuff that I really think it'd be valuable for you to know as you head out there and start actually building this business that you've just made. So I'm calling this everything you need to know, but it's not everything. It's a lot. Number one, and this is always going to be number one, this will never not be number one. Follow through on what you say. When you have clients and you tell them a job's going to be completed Wednesday, complete it Wednesday. If you say you're going to show up at 9 a.m., show up at 9 a.m. Whatever it is that you tell them you're going to do, you be the guy who does it. And that might mean missing evenings with your friends and family. That might mean giving up a lot of your hobbies. That might mean a lot of big changes in your life. But if you want to succeed at this, you're going to need the reputation of being the person that they can call and just know that this job is going to get done. And it's going to get done in exactly the way that you told them it's going to get done. So don't ever let that one go. Follow through on what you say. If you can do that, you'll be solid. Number two, schedule your work orders as soon as possible. This mostly applies to working for property managers, of course. When they send you a job, you want to get that tenant scheduled as soon as possible, and you want to let that property manager know that it's scheduled. That takes it off their mind, and they know business is being taken care of. If you're working for homeowners, it's still the same thing. Get them on the schedule as soon as possible. Number three, communication is key. And this seems obvious, but it's a little more important than you might think it is. When I say communication is key, what I mean is of all the mistakes that you could make, if you're communicating effectively from the very beginning to the very end, you'll be amazed at how forgiving people can be as long as they've been kept in the loop and told the truth from day one. Number four, learn hot mud and texture. Those two things are just, they're going to be an integral part of your handyman career. Learn hot mud. If you don't, you're going to be making multiple trips for every job that requires mud, or you're going to be hanging out for hours waiting for mud to dry. Don't put yourself in that position. Hot mud is not very hard. Just go ahead and force yourself to learn it as soon as possible. Same thing with texture. Texture is extremely difficult. At least doing a great texture job is extremely difficult, and you're going to be doing a lot of patches. So start working on your texture skills. Go to Home Depot, buy a 4x8 sheet of drywall, take it out in your front yard or your backyard, lean it up, and just start practicing texture. As soon as you get a texture done, you can scrape it right back off and reuse it. But practice your texture skills. You will need them quite frequently. Number five, be prepared to suffer. I'm not going to go into a super long diatribe about this, but what I will tell you is to get to where I'm at now, which is not at the top, it's just simply at a good place. But to get to this good place took a lot of suffering. I had to break myself in half, both mentally and physically. For a good 2 years, I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and this went on incessantly. And it was necessary to build both the reputation and the experience that I now have that allows me to do this in such a way that it makes for a very comfortable life for myself and my family. Number six, build an inventory. Stop going to Home Depot for the same stuff that you always have to go to Home Depot for. If you replace a garbage disposal once a month, you know you're going to need a garbage disposal this month. Just pick one up for yourself. Get that inventory built. Number seven, build kits. Again, it's the efficiency that matters. Build those kits. That way, when you show up to the job, you don't have to go digging through your van. You just find that kit, take it in, get that job done, and get out of there and head on to the next one. Number eight, learn the value of a CRM and use one. Y'all all know that I use Jobber. Jobber's my preferred CRM. But regardless of which CRM it is, learn how to use one and use it. It is going to be integral to your growth. It just absolutely is. There's a level where all you're doing is driving around town randomly fixing stuff for money and paying bills. And then there's the level where you're running a business. And you don't make it to that level where you're truly running a business without some software to manage that business. Number nine, standardize your pricing. Your clients will love you for it, and you'll love yourself for it because the more standardized your pricing gets, the less you have to think about pricing. And the less you're thinking about pricing, the more you can think about the other things that really matter. Number 10, charge more. I don't have anything else to say about that. Charge more, guys. Just charge more. You're probably not charging enough, so charge more. Number 11, be a business, not a person. One of the problems in the handyman industry, one of the reasons that we have the reputation we have, the bad reputation that we have, is because we don't act like businesses, we act like people. So start looking at how other businesses behave, other home service related businesses. Watch what they do and how they do it, and start trying to figure out how to join them, because businesses can definitely charge more money than people. Number 12, honor your estimates. I feel like this should just be clear, but it seems to not be clear for nearly every tradesman in the world that I have ever met. It kind of just ties right in to follow through with what you say. If you say the job's going to cost $800, the job needs to cost $800. If you didn't notice something or if you made a mistake, it's not the tenant's fault. It's not the client's fault. It's not the homeowner's fault. It's nobody's fault but yours. So eat your own mistakes and charge what you said you're going to charge. Honor those estimates, keep your word, follow through on what you say. Number 13, communicate in writing. You are going to have some phone calls, of course, but you should prioritize all of your communications in writing as often as possible. There will come a day, and there will come many days and many occasions when somebody's going to claim that you said something that you didn't say. So when all of your communication is in writing, that's going to take care of that problem for you, because you're going to be able to refer right back to where the conversation happened and show them what was and was not said. Number 14, get an accountant. Accountants are like handymen. They solve problems. They are the experts in their field. And just like people should be hiring tradesmen to take care of their tradesmen problems, we need to be hiring accountants to take care of our taxes. Yes, you can do it yourself, but they are the experts at making sure you keep as much of your money in your pocket as possible. Every business owner out there with an accountant is smart enough to do his own taxes. The reason he's not is because he's not an expert, and he's figured out that the large sum of money that you do have to pay your accountant is still vastly less than the amount of money that your accountant is going to help keep you from having to pay the government legally. Number 15, finish the job on the first trip. It is really easy to cut out at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever time you want to cut out. If you can finish the job today, finish the job today. Get it marked off that list, open up that schedule, and get more work in there so you can start making some more money and really building this business. Number 16, once you do have a CRM, start creating those custom line items with disclaimers. You're not going to remember every disclaimer that you need to slap on every job every time, and that takes time to write out. So start building up those custom line items. I'm going to give you one example. It's paint matching. When you go do a little patch and paint or some touch up paint, you need to let them know, if it's in an estimate, especially before the job even gets done, have that disclaimer in there that says it is never possible to have a truly perfect match on old paint. However, our match will be as close as possible. That's the disclaimer. You need to have disclaimers like that all over the place, and you're probably going to learn most of them the hard way. But once you do learn those lessons the hard way, start adding those disclaimers to every line item and use them on every estimate. Number 17, try to put yourself in a position that you're not desperate to get paid. A problem I've noticed with myself, this is based on experience, is when I'm broke because I haven't run my business in such a way that my bank account is nice and full. When I'm broke, the slightest instance of somebody not paying me quickly enough angers me. And when you're angry, you don't make good decisions and you don't think calmly and clearly in a collected kind of way. So try to put yourself in a different position where you're not desperate to get paid all the time, because when you move into that position and you have 20, 30 invoices out, all of which are going to be getting paid at different points in time, and one or two of those invoices have been out longer than they should have been out, maybe even past your deadline, maybe even past the deadline that you and the client agreed upon you getting paid at. When they've been out that long, but your bank account is full and you have invoices from dozens of jobs that will be rolling in over the next few weeks, you don't get so angry. And it doesn't mean you don't need to do anything about it, but you're not going to do whatever it is that you do about it from a place of anger. You're just going to be doing it from the place of a business owner. Number 18, one of the most important ones, time is money. So develop processes. Start looking at all these jobs that you do repetitively over and over and over again, and start developing processes around these jobs so that you know in advance exactly what tools you're going to need, exactly what materials you're going to need, exactly what problems may occur because they have occurred in the past, and you'll know what the solutions are for them because you've had them in the past. But start developing processes for all of these jobs so that you know what to expect and you can schedule your day accordingly. Number 19, get yourself too many clients and then fire the bad ones. One of the things that's been pivotal with my success has been, unfortunately, firing bad clients, which is almost impossible to do if you don't have enough work. And it's almost impossible to do if you only have enough work. Get yourself too much work and then fire the bad clients once your schedule is nice and fat. Number 20, understand how valuable you are. And I can't stress this enough. People like you are rare. You are a handyman. You are someone who can work on their plumbing and their electrical and their drywall and their flooring and their window coverings and everything else on their house. That is a rare skill. Without you, they have to call a handful of other professionals who are each going to charge their own trip fee. So if and when you find that you are a good handyman who truly does know what he's doing and is capable of solving other people's problems, understand what the value of that is and charge appropriately. Number 21, sell on value, not price. Do not advertise yourself as being the affordable option. If your prices are cheap, they'll assume you are too, and you are not cheap. You are valuable. You have skills that they need. Don't advertise yourself based on affordability. Advertise yourself based on value, which is what they get for the price they pay rather than just the price they pay. Number 22, don't break the law. In almost every single state, if you get caught doing work that you're not allowed to do legally in that state, you will lose the privilege of ever having a contractor's license in that state. So, whatever the law is, understand it and stick to it. Number 23, get good insurance. A lot of y'all have really cheap insurance, and that's great, but you need to go look at the list of exceptions that they have to that insurance policy. It's going to be listed in that policy all of the things that that insurance will not apply to. The less you're paying for insurance, the more of those exceptions there are. The more you're paying for insurance, the less of those exceptions there are. You don't need the premium plan, but don't be on that cheap plan either. I recommend going somewhere in the middle, like with Next Insurance. They're not the cheapest, they're not the most expensive, but they are absolutely going to be a good, reasonable coverage for a normal handyman business. Number 24, niche down. And what this means, number one, is niche down on your clients. Understand what all the different types of clients are and start finding a segment of them that you can serve better than anyone else and focus on that client base. And the same thing with the types of work you do. Understand what you're best at and try to niche down and focus on doing the work that you're best at doing. Number 25, don't hack stuff ever. I'm telling you, I don't have words to describe the extent to which I mean this. Don't hack anything ever. You will eventually get caught, and especially if you're working for property managers whom you rely on for lots and lots and lots of your work. The moment somebody sees that you purposefully and knowingly did a job the wrong way and charged too much money for not doing the job the right way, as soon as that happens, that's your reputation. Just don't do it. Number 26, use an EDC bag. As soon as you get this bag built, or it could be an EDC bucket or an EDC box or an EDC bin, but have an everyday carry. Have something that you take into every single job that's got most of the hand tools that you need, along with a drill on your hip and a tape measure. And that's going to get you through about 80% of your jobs without having to go back out to the van to find a few more tools. Number 27, for those of you serving property managers, make decisions and stop calling your property managers. They don't want to approve every single style of faucet, every type and style of ceiling fan. What they want is for you to understand the term like kind and make good decisions for them. Number 28, your clients aren't your friends. They're just not. I'm going to repeat this. Your clients are not your friends. You can be friendly with them. They can be friendly with you. You can be great acquaintances who can have good conversations, but your clients are not your friends. Number 29, don't do free estimates for buyer's agents. If a real estate agent is contacting you and they are representing the buyer and they're looking for an estimate for a handful of smaller items, do not give them a free estimate. They are trying to get a total amount to ask for a discount off of whatever they can find wrong with that house to drop the price of the house, and they have no intention of hiring you. If they do have an intention of hiring you, you can charge them for that estimate and let them know that that charge will be reimbursed if and when the estimate is approved, completed, and paid. Number 30, don't charge hourly. Employees charge hourly. Businesses charge based on the job. This is not an all encompassing rule. You can absolutely build a strong business off of hourly rates, but you will never achieve what you could achieve charging hourly. Number 31, learn to say yes by using YouTube. You don't know everything yet. Neither do I. You're going to always be learning just like I'm always learning. Your property manager needs you as a handyman. The whole point of you being a handyman is that you are multi trade. If it's a problem that you can solve, even if that means you have to go learn a few new things and make a little less profit while you learn on the job, figure out how to do it. Use YouTube, use the internet, and start learning how to say yes by using the internet. Number 32, admit your failures to yourself. In fact, search for them. Look for every way in which you're failing. The moment that you truly embrace the idea that you are failing in 100 different ways, that's the moment you now get to start identifying those failures and rectifying them. And as long as you always know for sure how everybody else is at fault for the bad things that happen to you, you are never going to be able to start figuring out what it is that you could have done differently to prevent that situation. And number 33, the best tool is the tool that you have. Don't get all wrapped up in which brand is better than which brand and which tool is better than which tool. If you need to cut something and you've got a tool that can cut something, congratulations, get that something cut. If you cut enough somethings to send out a whole lot of invoices and get paid a whole lot of money, by all means, go buy your luxury tools. But for now, in the beginning, when you're trying to get started, the tool you have is a great tool. Just use that tool, send your invoice, get paid, and then buy some new tools later. And with all that being said, guys, I am here for you. As you venture out to do this business, as you get started, you're going to run into some situations. If and when you do run into those situations and you need some help, don't hesitate to email me at bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com. I can't always respond right away, but I typically see the alerts for the emails and I see the preview of the email. And when I see that it is a handyman, someone on my crew, someone on my channel, one of my subscribers who's in the arena, when I see that it's one of my guys who's in a spot and needs some advice, I stop what I'm doing and I answer those emails right away. Some of the others are going to take a few days, maybe even a few weeks to get back to. But do not hesitate to email me when something's going on and you really don't know what to do and you need to make a decision. I will be here for you until this channel gets so big that I literally cannot find the time to keep up with it. Until that day comes, I will be here to answer your questions when you find yourself in a bind. So do me and the rest of the handyman community a favor, and when you head out there and you start working this business tomorrow, be an upstanding citizen. Be a good example of what a handyman is and of what a handyman could be and should be. Be that kind of person because we have a bad reputation and we earned our bad reputation. Not me, not you, but collectively as a community, we have earned a bad reputation, and it's up to you and me to fix that reputation and move the career of handyman from a low level prospect into a legitimate career. So I love you guys. I hope y'all are all out there killing it very soon, and I will see you on the next one.